What's going on, guys? This is Trevor with Focus Digital. Today's video inspiration comes straight from a couple clients who have ran into some roadblocks. If you know what we do around here, you know it's not just marketing at this point. We're kind of in the business of solving problems, whatever that may be, or marketing, operational. Essentially, we do everything to make a business grow, and whatever that may mean. I don't know what we call that. We don't have a name for it yet. But we figure out what is slowing down the growth of a business and fix it. Sometimes that's software. Sometimes it's a operational handbook for employees. Sometimes it's a website. Sometimes it's a social media campaign. Whatever it is. No, it's not the same solution for everyone. Every business gets a tailored approach. So this week, one of my clients had a customer issue. So we're talking about North Carolina weather here. It's rained for like 40 days straight. Not all day and every day, but it's rained at least once every day for like 40 days. So it's hard for service businesses like landscaping, grading, tree services, and so forth to keep their schedules on track. You can't cut grass in a rain, or you can't dig in the mud. So delays are inevitable. So here's the deal. My clients are covered legally with rain delays because I've put their proposals together for them, and there's clauses in there for rain delays. So they're covered in a legal sense. But the real challenge is about keeping the customers happy. And the biggest hurdle I've found is communication, or rather the lack thereof. A lot of these businesses assume the customer just knows the project is going to be delayed because of the rain. And sure, most customers understand. They know that their project was scheduled for Thursday, but it's been raining for 40 days, so it's probably not going to happen on Thursday. But the best way to handle it for a business is to communicate. Tell them what's going on, give them a heads up when things change, and explain why. It's all about managing expectations from the start. So, obviously, due to the issues that were around some of these clients that I have, I wanted to create a solution that made this easy. It was a hurdle for them. They were not doing it. If it was easy for them to handle, they would have been doing it already. So how do I make it easy? That's the big question. So I pondered some solutions for a few days. I whipped up a system that each of my clients can use without adding a massively complex thing to their workflow. Because if it's not simple, they're not going to do it. So it has to be simple. If you introduce 100 steps to somebody, they're not going to put that in their workflow. If you say, hey, do these 3 steps, it makes your life easier, suddenly 3 steps is pretty damn easy, you know? So they do that. So it's basically a system that's data entry on the fly. They've got a link on their phone that goes to the program or goes to the site. They enter the customer's information. Basic details. We're not talking about proposal level. We're talking about the customer details, address, phone number, email, project start date, project completion date. And for the program, for the system, those fields can be customized. Now here's where it gets interesting. We need to put that data into a database and store it for later. So when the weather messes up, or when Zach, one of my good clients, wakes up in the morning and it's a torrential downpour, and he knows he's probably not going to be working today. He pulls his phone out, he goes to the site, logs in, and hits 1 day delay. Now the database sees that 1 day delay added to it, modifies all the dates, and at set intervals, if you want your customers to be notified every time there's a delay, then that could be done. If you want them to be notified every time there's a 3 day, the 3 days stack up, then it sends an email or a text message out to your customer that says, hey, due to weather or inclement weather, your project has been delayed. Your customer knows the weather's shitty. So it's just a confirmation of what they already know, but it's an automatic system that allows for that continued communication. So they're not left just scratching their head wondering. This way, the customer is always in the loop. They know what's happening. They understand the delays. Some will still complain, but most just want to be informed. So I built this out, and I was going to do it as a one-off type thing for a couple clients, and then I realized that it wouldn't be hard to make it a scalable solution. So I built StormShift, and it's now available. It does, every single application is going to be a custom setup. So we've got to set it up for each customer, depending on how their system, what kind of questions they need from their customers. how their when they want their notifications to come out. So it's a $500 setup fee, and it's $100 a month to operate. We may change that down the road. I don't know. The first couple dozen people that jumped on it didn't seem to mind. I basically threw a number allocated to roughly what time it takes to set it up, and operational. There's some workflow cost that associate with that. So yeah, so if it's something that you think you would like to have, let me know. Alternatively, it is something that you could probably build yourself if you have some experience with Zapier type automations. There's some YouTube videos that out there that walk you through how to do that. It's not the easiest thing to do, but it definitely could be done by a do-it-yourselfer that doesn't want to have the monthly fee. Basically, you take the form, feed it into a Zapier integration. You automate the Zapier integration to feed into to output email based on certain criteria, and as long as your workflow is set up correctly, it will send emails at the proper times and so forth. So that's configuring that's a little bit complex, and then you've got to have the form aspect set up on the website. But for a do-it-yourselfer, I'm going to say you could probably crank it out in a couple days if you were really gung-ho. That's it for today. Keep hustling and stay focused. See you guys tomorrow.